All right, I'm back again, man. Another installment. It's gonna be a busy winter for me, which is all good. Again, I warn you guys, if you don't know much about your cars, you need to make sure you call somebody that does before you start messing with them. This customer right here, as you can see, has an ignition problem, and they thought it was this, which is called the lock cylinder. That is not your ignition switch. That is the lock cylinder. He tried replacing that, thinking that was going to make his car start again. It's having starting issues. After he failed, he called me, took it apart real easily, and seen that the ignition was bad. Ignition switch was bad. And here, I'll show you where that's at. Just to let you know, this is a 2002 Dodge Neon. It's a stick. I'm not sure. I think it's a 2.0 under the hood, I believe. Okay, so here's your ignition switch. And as you can see in there, if it'll zoom for me, let's see. You can see, hold on. What if? You can see that's broke inside there. And then if you look at this, you clearly see it's missing pieces of metal. Yeah, so ignition switch is bad. I don't think the lock cylinder was ever an issue. It's a common mistake when people don't know cars too well. I'm off to pull apart to get these parts. I'll give you some footage there. See you then. All right, so we made it. We're here at Pull Apart. Most people are familiar with this place. If you're not, it's just a big junking yard. There's some new cars from that. This is what I'm here for today. Dodge Neon. That's nice. Just laying around. Looking for a 17 first. I see 19 down there. So we probably should start somewhere around here. I'm gonna look for, first one would be a red Dodge Neon, which I see right here. There goes our first one. Let's see if we can get the ignition switch out of it. And as you can see, it's been ripped out. This might be one of those days where we might be shut up. This happens time to time. The next one is another red one on 19, but I actually see one right there and one right. Is this a Dodge Neon? I don't think that's a Dodge Neon. I think that's an Intrepid. Yeah, it's a Chrysler. So, that would be it for this row. Let's move on to the next. We're still looking for the second one, which is a red Dodge Neon. I pull apart. I never really go by their list. I usually look everywhere because there's usually no telling. Last time I came here for a Honda, I found about 16 Hondas. They said it only has 4. So, that's kind of why I did that. That's not a Neon. This is a Neon. Let's see what this looks like. This is a green one, so it wasn't even on the list. And there we go. We do have an ignition switch in there. I don't think that's the right one. I can tell because it has an extra plug to it, and then back there in mine does not. It's one single plug. So, that we will pass on. Here goes our second Dodge Neon, the red one. It's supposed to be on row 19. And what do we have here? We have a broken ignition switch. Somebody ripped it out completely. Yeah, that's toast. So somebody's completely ripped this one out for some reason. So another. I'm assuming they thought that's what it would actually work too. Well, that's going to be a problem because it's not the complete unit. Let's go to the next. This has to be one of the worst parts coming to this pull apart. I'm gonna make myself a little bridge there so I don't step in the mud. Hey, and look what we have here. We have a liftoff. So there is actually the ignition switch in here. I'm gonna go ahead and probably pause this and get to pulling these things out. That's weird. I just found this in there. Some girl on a horse. Awfully strange. Awfully strange. And if you look closer, look at that. Pull apart. There's always weird stuff in these cars. This car is completely destroyed inside, interior-wise. I'm gonna pause this, get the ignition ripped out, and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, so there she is, all ripped out, ready to go. You can see that new piece looks way better, obviously, and this is all solid one piece. And I basically ripped it all out. I didn't have to use the mechanic. See, this is how you would break it to a car. Don't ask me how I know that. So let's go ahead and get back to this job site before it gets too late. Get this car back together. Get paid. So just left pull apart. That was pretty basic. It's pretty hilarious. I wish I had a GoPro so I could have my camera running at all times. I'm using my phone at this point. I do want to step my game up eventually. They're just so expensive, and you know, like, I mean, I don't know if you guys know my situation or not, but I do have 2 kids, and I have custody of 2 other children. My brother passed away, so I have a house full of 4 boys, and they're all teenagers, besides one, but he acts like a teenager, and he shops like a teenager, so yeah, that's why I work so much, and you always see me busy. So I'm going back to this Dodge Neon right now, my customer's car. I found the ignition. I compared the 2 to the old ones. They look exactly like the old ones, so won't have any problems with it bolting up. One thing I did notice when I went to go diagnose his car, he was missing a screw for the ignition switch, which I found kind of weird. So I grabbed these extra screws. I pretty much grabbed all the screws just to make sure. It is like it's noon now. I've been at it since about 10:30. Diagnosing it didn't take long. It was literally just a drive and going to pull apart. Getting quite hungry and parched, so I think I might stop at a store, get myself a quick snack and something to drink before I head back over to the customer. It shouldn't take me no longer than, say, 20 minutes in. So keep your hands dirty, and I'll be back. Oh, guess what though? My hands aren't dirty today. That would be because I'm working on the inside of the car, and usually there's no, well, I'm not gonna say always, but most of the time it's pretty clean where you don't have to get your hands all dirty. My pants are dirty, but that's because I had to get inside that ugly, dirty, stinky Dodge Neon to get the part. Other than that, we are Gucci. So, still keep your hands dirty, and I'll be back. All right, all done. All put back together. Looks like nothing happened ever again. For some reason they don't have the lever to take off the to lower the steering wheel lever. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know if they pulled it off before I got here. I couldn't find the car. You can see ignition looks brand new again. It starts and it runs just fine. Well, as fine as they left it. It seems like it needs a tune up really bad. So yeah, this is the old part. If you can see, hold on, let me see if I can show you some lighting. Yeah, that tip is broke right there, that tip. And then on this, the inside of that's all stripped out. But she's all done, ready to go. Back on the road. Go give the customer their keys and get paid.